This is the time to buy Bitcoin because it's vastly superior. It's the best money ever known to human. It's the hardest money ever known to humans. The network's never been stronger. The use case has never been stronger. The Bitcoin maximalists have been telling you that all these other coins are scams for years. So if you lost money with the scammers, shame on you because you got greedy. So nothing I can do about that. So if you can't hold your shit for 4 years, you shouldn't be an investor. Go to Las Vegas. The Sam Bankman-Fried story and FTX and FTT, which is their token, and Alameda, which is kind of the hedge fund, Alameda Research, that they created back in 2017. So Sam Bankman-Fried came out of a company called Jane Capital, and he comes from the very shadowy world, the very shady world of high-frequency trading and kind of the shadow banking system and the market making that's done kind of in the gray regulatory zone. And there's a lot of these firms that exist on the periphery. There's a lot of debate whether they're actually engaged in lawful activities or not. They then floated a token called FTT, which is part of the whole scam token world that we've been talking about for a number of years, whether it's Ethereum or Cardano or FTT or XRP. These are just scam tokens. And he used that and listed it on other scammy exchanges to create a price, and then using that as collateral to buy assets like real estate in the Bahamas. And now, as all Ponzi schemes eventually do, they run out of kind of runway and they crash and burn. So in 40 years, there hasn't been any rigorous financial oversight in the United States and around the world. And if you're not going to if you're not going to enforce laws, you're inviting these problems. So the regulators have really some answers that they need to fill in. And so it's kind of a continuation, Daniela, of multi-decade scammy fraud banking nightmare. That you've got folks like the Ethereum Foundation and lobbying groups like Andreessen Horowitz and FTX really working the regulators in Washington. Their goal was to move all regulatory oversight from the SEC to the CFTC. The Silicon Valley scam coin fraudsters like Andreessen Horowitz with Solana, which is a scam. They're trying to move all oversight away from the SEC to the CFTC. So the regulators are clearly implicated. I would say it's part and parcel of a bigger picture where the U.S. economy is basically a kleptocracy at this point of scammy bankers, scammy politicians, the scammy media outlets. There's going to be a price to pay for Sam Bankman-Fried. So it's clear that at the core of the issue is that he stole $8 billion from FTX investors, and he dumped it over at Alameda, and he lost it through reckless trading. And I think that that's a pretty clear case to be made. And we've recently seen his cohort, Caroline, co-founder. She's been spotted in New York City. Looks like she's going to cut a deal with the New York prosecutor to turn on Sam Bankman-Fried. So I think that he'll have his day in court, and he'll end up going to prison for a very long time, as he rightfully should. No damage. The network has never been healthier. The network has never been stronger. Bitcoin, first and foremost, is a network. Network stability over price stability. It has extremely interesting properties. One of those properties is that when prices are down, it attracts a lot of critics, and it attracts a lot of attacks, which could then fuel the conviction of the people who are actually investing in the network. Investments in the Bitcoin network have never been higher. That means the security has never been higher, and price will take care of itself. Tim Draper reiterated his $250,000 call for Bitcoin
Yeah.
in 2023. I concur with that entirely. Don't worry, the price will take care of itself. What we want to make sure is that the network is stable, and this Sam Bankman-Fried scandal never touched the network. The network is still tick-tock, next block. There's no problem. And the amount of money being poured into the network, that is into the hash rate, into the mining, into the security, has never been higher. I think that, Bitcoin is a wily beast. And sometimes I think it just likes to drop in value to pull out the scammers, to pull out the Mashinskis and the Kevin O'Learys and the Mike Novogratz. The scammers out there, they get exposed and then they get wiped out. And then they won't have any money to buy Bitcoin. So don't worry about Bitcoin. Worry about yourself.
I'll tell you why I worry.
Bitcoin will still be here when all
was,
these guys are gone. The Bitcoin maximalists have been telling you that all these other coins are scams for years. So if you lost money with the scammers, shame on you because you got greedy. So nothing I can do about that. It's been down before, but the network keeps rolling over and keeps ticking, and investment into the network is at an all-time high, Daniela. You're not listening. Investment in the network is at an all-time high. Okay, don't look at the price. The price will take care of itself. Anyone who's held Bitcoin for 4 years is in the black. This is the time to buy Bitcoin because it's vastly superior. It's the best money ever known to human. It's the hardest money ever known to humans. The network's never been stronger. The use case has never been stronger. The reveal that all these scam coins are junk, as I've been saying for years, is now stronger. And so everything is completely as it should be. The people who can't see the difference between a Bitcoin and the scam coins like Ethereum, Cardano, XRP, etc., they need to do their homework. There's nothing it's not like you're a bank on Wall Street where every time you make a mistake, you get a bailout. Daniela, we as individuals don't have that. We have to work and do research and live a real life. So you have to do your research. You haven't done your work. Do your homework, and your worries will be addressed. Bitcoin, similarly, is an aesthetically gorgeous piece of technology that makes all other forms of money look ugly. And we know that two things. Number one, people are throwing money at it to make it more secure. It's never had more investment than it does now. And it also is attracting more energy. So these other systems, the other altcoins or even fiat money, will perish due to lack of energy. Everyone who's putting money into the network has the conviction and the belief that fiat money is doomed. They understand that no fiat money has ever survived. They've all gone to zero over 300 years. They know that all the scam coins are scams. They're all going to be classified as securities. Again, here in El Salvador, the president made these new security laws that differentiate clearly between Bitcoin and everything else. Everything else is a security per this new law. If you're living in a country like in America where the political class and the elite and the media are openly attacking you and undermining you and trying to disenfranchise you, bankrupt you, and unemploy you, leave, get out, take your Bitcoin and just leave. If you're in a country like the United States, which is basically has an entitlement fixation that they alone should be entitled to the world's riches and that everyone else in the world should beg and scrimp at the feet of America, well, you're going to have a problem because the axis of power and the pendulum of power is swinging away from the dollar and the fiat money world. It's a new century. It's a new world, Daniela. So again, if you're unhappy in the United States, I suggest you move. The stablecoin market is outside really of Bitcoin and Bitcoin, and then there's Mike Novogratz and a bunch of shitcoins, right? So, and then there's stablecoins, which is kind of, it's a hybrid, it's a product, it's like a money market fund. It's a way to get on and off various exchanges. It was born during an era when a lot of exchanges had different prices for Bitcoin and you needed to go from one exchange to another. So this tether was invented, and it's backed by US dollars, and it's backed one for one by US dollars, and it's like a money market fund. And unlike, let's say, Circle, which is another one of a stable coin, but they actually pay people to use Circle. And as such, they are on the verge of bankruptcy. Whereas that Tether doesn't pay anyone to use Tether. There's a big difference there. So I'd say Circle is about to go bankrupt. Circle is the one you need to work. It's USDC. That's the one to look out for. Circle. They're in trouble. They're the next FTX. They're about to go bankrupt. That's a big pile of shit, is Circle. When you put money into the bank, you no longer own that money. It's not your money held by the bank. You become a creditor to the bank. It's their money. In the case of a liquidation, your deposits are used to pay the debts of the bank. So any money you keep in the bank is not safe. Compared to Bitcoin, extraordinarily easy to confiscate gold. It's not portable. If I wanted to move 10 million, 100 million, or $1 billion worth of gold, it's extremely difficult to move it from point A to point B. Whereas with Bitcoin, I can walk naked through the airport with my seed phrase, go anywhere in the world, and there's $1 billion worth of Bitcoin. Bitcoin, similarly, it's finally, after a million years of trying to look for perfect money, we as humans found it in 2009. It's called Bitcoin. And we see in a country like El Salvador that it's had an immediate, dramatic, positive impact, and that's spreading to the region, to Guatemala and other countries in Central America. It's spreading to Mexico. It's popping up all over the world. We'll soon be on a global Bitcoin standard, and the price will be considerably higher where it is today, and everyone will be kicking themselves that they didn't buy it when it was cheap down here in the teens. Where the price is going right now, the price is going higher. Like I said earlier, I look at the strength of the network is really the number I look at. I don't look at the price so much. I look at how the network is doing and how the hash rate is doing, and are people committing capital to the network. And that's at all-time highs. So for me, Bitcoin's at an all-time high today. The price it's a lagging indicator. The price is a lagging indicator of Bitcoin. If you look at the way that the commitments on the investing on the network side, it's at all-time highs, and price catches up as it always does. And anyone who's held it for 4 years is in the black. They're making money. So if you can't hold your shit for 4 years, you shouldn't be an investor. Go to Las Vegas, play the slot machines and the roulette wheel, and have a couple of cocktails and go home. You're not an investor.